Hey guys, this is Nostalgia Network, or Jay. I'm gonna start doing a little bit more experimental videos, like I said to do in 2025. And this is my attempt at it. So this is going to be a bit of a first installment of a new series called like Nostalgia Talks or something. Still thinking of a name of it, but yeah, this is where I just pretty much just speak my mind about things I grew up playing, watching, playing with, or going to place. Basically just going down memory lane of stuff I grew up around. So for this first installment is going to be Toonami Memories. A lot of my experiences with Toonami back in the day were a little bit hazy because I was pretty young. My first anime ever was probably Dragon Ball Z. Well, I didn't catch it on Toonami at first. My first experience with it was a VHS tape that my cousins had playing on the TV in one of their rooms. And the moment I remember seeing the most was the Z Fighters on Kami's Lookout preparing against Majin Buu, and with Goten and Trunks keep failing at doing the fusion and resulting in fat Gotenks. And I was probably like 5 or 6, so I wasn't exactly sure what I was watching. But anyway, I really started watching Dragon Ball Z was, Toonami. The very first anime fight I remember seeing was Vegito beating the crap out of Super Buu, specifically Buhan. And just something about that fight fascinated with me and just really stuck with me into liking this kind of Japanese animation, which this was back when I didn't even know anime was a word. I didn't exactly know what I was watching. And I always thought it was just cool. So then I found out that Toonami was on Adult Swim every Saturday at the time, and as the picture you're showing on the screen right now, this was one of the lineups I remember seeing at the time, where Toonami would show sometimes action cartoons as well as mostly anime. Like I think it was like some of the big three, especially Naruto. If it wasn't Dragon Ball Z, it was also Naruto. Another anime I remember very specifically watching on Toonami more often than Dragon Ball Z, because when Naruto was on, Dragon Ball Z had already ended, and Dragon Ball GT was actually taking its place. So I remember Dragon Ball GT being on more often than Z was. So yeah. As well as other anime series, such as like One Piece and Cowboy Bebop, Zatch Bell, and I think Casher Sins, I think that's one of them, and as well as Trigun. And sometimes I mostly watched it on my bulky CRT TV that I had at the time, as well as sometimes in my parents' room. Sit there like late at night at like around 12 o'clock just watching those like what you're watching now and then next and then later, and also seeing I think his name was Tom, the host for Toonami. Yeah, just watching those bumpers of like Toonami and like what's gonna be premiering on Toonami that night, and I don't know, just overall just Tom and his talking spaceship. Can't remember if it actually had a name, but and sometimes he would go like on these little adventures and stuff like that, and especially like that one that planet that he was on that was like all sand with a little bit of like sand creatures here and there, when it was all like CGI and stuff. And then I was bummed to see that I very much remember Tom saying his last goodbye when Toonami ended back in 2008. And this was around the time where I lost cable. because I actually watched his goodbye on YouTube, and that, wait, Toonami's over? And I just thought I was bummed that Toonami was over, and this was around the time when I lost cable for a couple years. Eventually got cable back around 2009, 2010. There was a whole other shows that were on, and you know, like Marvelous Misadventures of Flapjack and Chowder, and which is a whole other story. And then I was stoked that in 2012, when I was in junior high, that Toonami was coming back. And I specifically remember the very first lineups of Toonami's revival was like Dead Man Wonderland and Cash Your Sins, and I think Naruto Shippuden, I think, was on. Yeah, I just remember just being happy to see like Tom and his ship, and now this chick that has like, that's supposed to be like part of the spaceship and is now like this Cortana looking avatar. But other than that, I stopped watching TV after a while, and then I started watching dubbed anime on my own. That's pretty much as far as how much memory I have about Toonami that I can remember. I mostly remember watching DBZ and Naruto, especially Naruto, during the tuning exams and all that, just being like so pumped and so hyped. And then I would always see that they would constantly rerun episode 1 when they get to a certain point, because I think they just ran out of episodes to dub, I think that's how it goes. But anyway, this has been my first installment of Jay's Memory Lane or something. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. So you guys get to see a little bit into my life, a little bit, and stuff that I grew up with and stuff. So I'm not sure what the next episode of Jay's Memory Lane or something will be about. Probably like Cartoon Network or specifically Dragon Ball Z, if you guys want me to go in more detail about my history with that series. But anyway, this is Nostalgia Network. Stay in the good times.